On Linux Unix, does .tar.gz versus .zip matter? Cross-platform programs are sometimes distributed as .tar.gz for the Unix version and .zip for the Windows version. This makes sense when the contents of each must be different. If, however, the contents are going to be the same, it would be simpler to just have one download. Windows prefers .zip because that's the format it can handle out of the box. Does it matter on Unix? That is, I tried today unzipping a file on Ubuntu Linux, and it worked fine. Is there any problem with this on any current Unix-like operating system, or is it okay to just provide a .zip file across the board?
Yes, it matters. Actually, it depends. Tar.Gz stores Unix file attributes, UID, GID, permissions, most notably executable. The default may depend on your distribution, and can be toggled with options. Consolidates all files to be archived in one file, tar, tape archive, . Actual compression is done by gzip, on the one.tar file. Zip stores MS-DOS attributes. Archive, read-only, hidden, system. Compresses each file individually, then consolidates the individually compressed files in one file. Includes a file table at the end of the file. Because zip compresses the files individually, a zip archive will most likely have a larger size, especially with many smaller files, think config files. So you see, apart from file size, if you zip a bunch of files on Linux Unix, and then unzip them, the file attributes will be gone, at the very least those not supported by MS-DOS, depends on what zip software you use. This may matter, or it may not, in which case it doesn't matter, because the file size difference is in most cases negligible. Note: apparently, modern versions of zip also store Unix file attributes, depends on your zip software, so with modern zip software, the file size will be the only difference.
Tar.Gz is better for Linux as it retains permissions, such as executables on scripts.
Most popular Linux distros these days are by default equipped with zip compatibility. But as stated by NC3B, tar and gzip are more common on Linux Unix systems. If you need 95% compatibility on these systems, consider using tar and gzip. If you need only 85%, zip will do fine.
Tar.Gz is a pretty crappy format since the archive cannot be randomly accessed, updated, verified or even appended to without having to decompress the entire archive. Zip is much better in that regard. You can quickly obtain the contents of a zip file, append to it without recompressing the first part, etc. Zip has some size limitations depending on the version of a zip that you use, and these can be a problem. But the standard InfoZip tool that comes with most Linux-like OSs has no size limitations and preserves file permissions just fine. See this URL for capabilities.
Barebones Unix installs don't contain unzip, i.e. server installs, but they always contain tar and gzip. If your audience is servers, I'd go for gzip. Also gzip has greater compression than zip, so the file will be smaller.